Wish you guys could feel this. There's literally an ice frost breeze blowing out of here. It's freezing cold in here. What's back there? It's pretty dark in here. I don't like that. Something caught my eye. What is that? This is my water filtration device that I designed. We lift this up, look. It's already clear. I'm gonna take a little drink. I guess if I'm barfing here in a few hours, I'll know. A few years ago, I started playing a survival game called Sons of the Forest. In the game, there's a 3D printer. And you can use that printer to print some survival items. And it got me thinking, can a 3D printer really be useful in real life like it is in the game? Can someone really utilize it as a tool to make useful items? Something that can be utilized in your everyday life outside of just your home office? It's been one of my goals for making these videos, to prove that 3D printing can be more than just making useless items, decorations, and toys. So join me as I put my 3D printer to the test outside of its standard setting in an office, and I attempt to actually print useful items. I live in Wyoming, and so far, it has been the perfect place to put this idea to the test. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for another video. You know the drill. Let's go ahead and get a print started. Alright guys, we made it up here. This is the Ten Sleep Canyon Ice Cave. I haven't been here for probably over 20 years, and I forgot how cold it is right when you get up to the entrance. There's literally ice right there, and it feels like air conditioning coming out, probably like 30-40 degrees. It is really cold here, right next to the mouth of the cave. There's a little small cave-in spot there, and then down here is probably the main entrance. Pretty dark in here. I don't like that. The cave goes another 30 foot back, and then there's like a little ice waterfall over there that you have to crawl up and over, I think, to get into the next shaft. Honestly, it is so freezing cold in here, I don't think I'm gonna go much further. Plus, I didn't like the sounds that I heard. Went a little bit further. There's an old rope right there. Looks like it broke off. There's the ice waterfall, which you have to climb up and over, which, unless you had some crampons, I don't know if you could. There's a little lower shaft here that goes down. It's like it's like 35 degrees in here at least. It feels like I'm in a freezer, in a meat locker. All right, let's go a little bit further. Just see what we can see. The floor is very slippery because that's ice. Look at that, guys. Creepy. I don't know if I can get up over that. See the rope there? There's a rope right there, frozen in the ice. Comes down here. It's probably connected to that piece right there. It's completely under ice. I can't take another step. It's just pure ice. And if video games and Sons of the Forest has taught me anything about caves, you do not want to get stuck in here and have your light quit. Oh, there's a little bit of light, actually. A light shaft. Wouldn't have seen that unless I turned my light off. Look at this, guys. Up above that ice waterfall, which I can't pass, there is actually an opening in the face of the mountain that's letting light through. My eyes are actually starting to adjust. I can kind of see in here now. I should switch it to low light mode and see if I can get better visuals. There we go. I think actually you guys can probably see quite a bit better like this. Let me get another shot of the cave here. That's where I came from. 3 foot ice, little waterfall right there, and then jagged rocks with a bunch of ice underneath. It looks like it drains out, down and out here, and then just right into another ice waterfall. It's gorgeous, but very dangerous. All right, let me get a little closer. I'm gonna shut my light off here. Natural light coming in through the cave. It's been about 20 years since I've been in this ice cave. I came up right during high school, and I kind of remember this entrance here, but I think we were a little bit further into the summer, probably July, August, somewhere in there. And I do remember getting up and over this part of the cave, and it goes back quite a bit further. And there's actually a vertical drop that goes down, and there's actually an established ladder that you can climb down. I don't know if it's still there. That was 20 years ago. And basically, this thing, if you are smaller, not like me, you can actually crawl around in here and get a little bit further deeper into the cave. I think it goes back a good 150 to 200 yards. Not straight back, but you drop down and then it goes into another passage. But honestly, this is probably far enough for me because I'm not a caver. Just a little heads up, if you, reason why I'm not going back further into the cave is because I'm up here alone. If you're gonna go into caves, you better know what you're doing. Be a part of like a grotto and not just walk into caves willy-nilly, and have some training, and most importantly, probably have someone with you. I do not have someone with me, and I'm not going back into the cave. I just literally wanted to come in, look at the ice, see how far back I could get without losing sight of the entrance. And I've done just that. So now I'm going to get out without twisting my ankle or slipping and falling. So I just turned back around to look back up at the ice waterfall, and something caught my eye. What is that? Wish you guys could feel this. There's literally an ice frost breeze blowing out of here. At least 10 miles an hour, 8 to 10 miles an hour. Feels like a breezy day. Can't explain it. You guys will have to go to one of the nearest ice caves to your location and experience it. Absolutely amazing. This is the Ten Sleep Canyon Ice Cave. And now, back down the mountain we head. All right, we're back to the truck. Print is finished. What do we got here? It is a funnel for the next print that I'm going to show you. What could this be for? Turned out good. Printed it on the way up the mountain. Here's camp for the night, guys. Time for a snack, guys. I am getting hungry. I did not eat lunch. Let me show you what I got here. First Strike ration. So this is also from Sopaco. I've never had their First Strike ration. I've had their normal MREs and they're quite good. So let's go ahead and open up, get a snack out of here. Shelf-stable Italian style sandwich. First Strike nutritious energy bar, apple cinnamon. Got some crackers. Mocha dessert bar. Frosted brown sugar cinnamon toaster pastry. Sounds like breakfast. Fruit punch. Drink. Smoked almonds. That sounds like a good snack. Grape flavored fruit juice. Got some peanut butter. Some barbecue sauce. That's new. I haven't tried that before. Chipotle tortillas. Cranberries. Another good snack. Look at this. Military energy gum. 100 milligram of caffeine per piece. Wow. That's cool. The applesauce. That's a good snack. Trail mix, recovery with pretzels. Here's our condiment pack. Here's a bag. Oh, that's what that is. White chicken chunks. They are slightly smoky. I ended up getting a chair, guys. We're gonna test it out this summer and see how it holds up. So the max weight on this is about 320 pounds. I weigh about 280. soft and chewy, and there's crunchy bits in it. Huh. Apple cinnamon. Yeah, Rice Crisps in there. It's almost like if applesauce and a Rice Krispie treat had a baby. That's kind of what it is. All right, here's that trail mix recovery with pretzels. So pretty much peanuts, cashews, pretzels, almonds. Pretty good. Nothing to email home about. I do have better plans for dinner though. I did bring some meat and I plan on doing some grilling, so stick around for that. Cranberries. Let's try them out. Yeah, that was good. I'm hungry. Let's try the applesauce. It's generally always good. That's good. I'm sure it's sweetened. It's really sweet. But man, that's good. So as you know, on the way up, I 3D printed this funnel with a little lip on the inside. What is that for? Well, this is my water filtration device that I designed. 3 cups. And they fit inside each other like Russian nesting dolls. Then they all sit on top of each other like this. See the groove? Just like that. Funnel. So you're asking, why 3 tiers? The way water filtration works is you have media in between. Well, the water goes in dirty, comes out clean. Gravel, rocks, sand, charcoal. A little bit of charcoal mixed in probably all of them. So you can make charcoal in a tin can. You put wood, throw it in the fire with a little hole in it, and it makes charcoal. I just grabbed some from home, like barbecue charcoal. You could also just have a fire, just like this fire pit over here. And you could pull the charcoal out of that as long as it's completely dried out and use that in your filtration. As you can see, every cup has these perforated holes here to let the water through. And it is portable. All the cups fit inside of each other, just like that. All right, let's try this military caffeine gum. Big old blue piece of gum. Arctic Mint, 100 milligrams of caffeine per piece. Do not exceed 2 pieces in 3 hours or more than 4 pieces in 24 hours. Do not exceed 10 pieces in 24 hours if you're in the military. Huh. Tastes good. We'll see what happens. All right, so another way you can filter water is, of course, by buying a water filtration system. This is a Sawyer squeeze filter. So essentially you scoop water up into this bladder and then you squeeze it through the filter, and then you can spray it right into a cooking pot, right into a water bottle or a vessel. And this is probably the most popular one out there for backpackers because it gets really small in your backpack, and it'll filter something like 10,000 gallons, something crazy, and you can back flush it, so it'll continue to filter water for a long time. This is about 60 to 80 bucks. Not too bad for how much water you can filter through it. So we're gonna test it out for the first time. Let's go and seal it up. Not sure if this is showing up on camera, but it is a slight green tint to it. All right, let's test this thing out. All right, first batch of filtered water, let's try it out. Tastes clean. I don't taste anything weird. It's nice and cold too, right off the mountain. Works. It's good. And they say after a backpacking trip not to leave this thing stored away wet. So definitely want to shake the water out of it and get it in a dry place so it can dry back out. But yeah, so far this thing works great. I guess if I'm barfing here in a few hours, I'll know. Let's test this 3D printed water filter out. All right, so the way it works is we're gonna run water through small gravel in the big cup with a little bit of sand, maybe charcoal. Then this one will be primarily sand, and then the small cup will be pretty much all charcoal. So the way they work is they all stack on top of each other. And they have little grooves, and they pop together just like that. Just like that. And then our funnel here, right on top of our cup. It's kind of top heavy. I'll have to think about that in version 2. Let's go ahead and get some gravel for the big cup. All right, so I got some small rocks out of the creek bed. I rinsed them off. I got a little bit of spruce bough greens. Anything off an evergreen tree, essentially you can steep it like a tea. So it's just gonna help filter out any large particles that the rocks don't catch. Let's get our sand in the next one here. So I brought sand. I also brought coffee filters. Instead of using coffee filters, something that you could use would be like an old t-shirt or even socks in an extreme survival situation. Anything essentially that just won't let really fine small particles through, any cloth. All right, there's about 2 or 3 inches of sand right there. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this until it goes clear. Just run water through it. So I think it'll come out pretty muddy at first. Water's gonna take a while to work its way through there. That's the whole point, is it's being filtered essentially. All right, I'm gonna keep, there we go. We got some water coming out. It looks a little bit cloudy. So I'm gonna keep doing that until this runs clear essentially. All right, now for the last layer, what I'm gonna do is break up some of this charcoal here. So charcoal removes even more fine particulates and filters bad contaminants out of the water. So essentially I just need to break this up, get it kind of powdery, a little bit chunky, a little bit powdery, until I get it to the right consistency, and then I'll put it in my small cup here. All right, so I've broken it down into quite a bit smaller pieces and some powder. Now this stuff is very dirty. So what I'm gonna do is make sure I keep these gloves on. Try to pour it into this coffee filter here without getting it everywhere. See how there's medium-sized pieces and plenty of really fine particles. All right, there's a big piece. I'm gonna throw that out. Push it down a little bit. The more the better. I'm actually gonna pour some on top of my sand too. The more the better, so get those all locked into place. Put the funnel underneath. I'm gonna set it in my cup, just like this. All right. Now I'm gonna take my dirty water here, and essentially what we're doing is we're just running it through until it fills up. We'll see how this works. I've not tested this. So it is leaking out the edges a little bit, but it shouldn't enter the cup because that funnel is stopping it. So this might take a while because it is gravity fed. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, so we got a cup full of water. Does look a little dark. So essentially what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep running this water until it starts to look a lot more clear. Because we gotta wash our sand, wash our rocks, and then of course, all that really fine charcoal particulate needs to work its way out as well. So we'll just keep filling here. It definitely, you can tell once it hits the sand cup, it slows down quite a bit. That sand is super dense. We lift this up, look. It's already clear. Wow, that was only one pass. It's pretty crazy. All right, let me show you guys. Look how much more clear that is. There's a little bit of charcoal sitting there, but that is a good sign. It means it is running through the charcoal. So I'm gonna take a little drink. Yeah, it's got that sooty charcoal, weird burnt flavor, but it really isn't bad. And surprisingly, it doesn't even taste like the spruce needles at all. I thought maybe it would taste more like that. Huh. Well, there you go. Nice, clean drinking water with a 3-tiered filtration system. It's not a perfect system yet. It's definitely leaking out the sides, a little bit clunky, a little bit top heavy. I'm gonna have to see if there's a way that I can make this a little bit more streamlined. But the water's coming out clear and it tastes fine, other than that charcoal flavor. Filtered water using 3D printed items. It is possible. All right, guys, let's talk about another way that you can have water, fluids, liquids out while you're backpacking, while you're surviving. So this is probably my least favorite form of hydration. Essentially, it's called AquaGuard, and it's sustained effective hydration. Ready to use hydration gel, no water necessary. It's 86 grams, 1 servings, that's about 3 ounces. So essentially it comes in this little tube here with a pull tab, and it says adults use 1 packet every 3 to 4 hours. Consume 1 packet 25 to 30 minutes prior to physical activity or exposure to harsh ambient temperatures. So the nutritional facts, let's talk about what's inside of it. Water, hydrocolloids, phosphoric acid, potassium sorbate, that's to maintain the freshness, annatto, norboxin, I know annatto is like a food coloring, natural orange flavor, and sucralose. So it is orange flavored, and essentially it's just, it's like power gel. Yeah, it looks, that's so weird. It looks like the stuff that squirts out of babies' diapers. It tastes like orange Gatorade, and it looks like goop. Let's try it. Oh. The taste is okay, but it tastes like really dry Jello. Weird junk that comes out of diapers, basically. So you could carry maybe 5 or 6 of these in your bag. Pull it out every few hours. eat this stuff or whatever you're supposed to do with it. Good to know. It's gluten-free and it has no allergens. And the packet floats, so if you throw it in the water because it's so disgusting, it's going to float downstream. This is not very good. I don't know. I just don't know how to explain what the texture is like. It's like Jell-O, but it's just all falling apart like in 1,000 pieces in your mouth. I don't really like this at all. I guess it could keep you alive in an emergency situation. Maybe you don't want to run around with a water jiggling in your backpack, because once you drink some out, it starts vibrating and moving in your body. You can feel it and you can hear it. Maybe this is the answer for like someone who does trail running or something, or I guess it'll save your life. So shout out to AquaGuard that makes these packets for people that need them. If you use these, put a comment down in the comment section. Tell us about your experience with it. Is there different flavors? Does it always have this weird goopy texture? It's just like, I don't know. It's not really a solid, it's not a liquid, it's not a gel. It's not a gel. It's like, I don't even know. All right, I got a water testing kit here. I got a couple of them. I'm gonna go ahead and add the water to the bag and then put in this powder, growth medium, and then incubate it for 24 to 48 hours. And if the bag turns blue, that means there's E. coli in it. It'll also test for total coliform. Here's a 3D printed 3-stage filter bag. I'm gonna add the powder to it. All right. Here's the Sawyer Squeeze water that I filtered. I'm gonna go get some river water. Here we go, got the samples. We'll see what they do.
About 3 a.m. Massive rainstorm. Thunder, lightning. Pretty huge downpour.
Yes, I'm just gonna roll over and try to get some more sleep. Morning. It's about 7:30 a.m. Super wet everywhere. Rained from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. at least. Pretty big thunderstorm. For a few hours there, quite a bit of wind and thunder and lightning, and the rain came down pretty heavy, on and off. Felt like sheet rain, on and off for a few hours. It got really wet in here, moist from condensation. Because the wind and the rain was hitting the tent, it was misting and dripping little droplets, dropping off the canvas. Let's say it's time to get up and get some coffee going, get some breakfast going. All right, guys, it's morning. I am thirsty. I have one more thing to show you that I've been working on. Recognize this? This is a Grail. It's a water filtration bottle. I have gotten the dimensions and created my own. So essentially, you have the inner sleeve here where the water gets pushed through and your clean water goes in here. And then the outer sleeve is where you collect your dirty water and then you push it through and then you get your clean water. So the design's not fully complete yet, but I do have the mechanism working. The filter attaches to it and screws right on. And it works really well. I got this little notch here to lock it into place, and the O-ring seats really well and it doesn't leak. Just like that. And then I am messing around with an O-ring here at the top, so it'll seal with this cup so water won't come back up and cause issues. And then I do have a lid. I didn't bring it. I'm trying to get the lid to fit where you can drink out of, but for now I'm just going to use the open top. It works really well. Nice tight fit. I used some PLA Plus for this, and then some food grade safe PLA for this. I even put my name right there, as you can see on the inside part. I put these little grooves here so you can hold it. And then the outside, I have some ideas for some designs. Maybe a handle or a couple hooks so you can hang it, or something so it sits in your backpack a little bit better. But anyways, let's go test this out. We're gonna get some creek water, filter it through, and drink it and use it for our breakfast. So we got our nice crystal clear creek water here. I'm gonna insert the filter inner piece. Now I'm gonna apply pressure down and get the water to filter through. You can see water's getting filtered. We got filtered creek water. Tastes good. Tastes like normal water. So these different designs that I've made for water filtration, I created these myself. I went into my modeling software and spent the hours and time
making the designs. And if you guys want to 3D print any of your own water filtration devices, I'm gonna put the link to the files down in the description below. And just so you guys are aware, when you buy one of these Grail Ultra presses or Geo presses, they cost anywhere from $80 to $200 depending on the version that you get. So literally for about $5 in plastic, probably less. And then if you go on eBay, you can buy the filter for about $14, or you can go on Amazon and buy them for about $25. For about $25 to $30 max, you could have yourself a Grail Ultra Press or Geo Press. So that's something to consider. 3D printing can help you save money. If you find the right files and they're designed well and they work well, then hey, look what you can make. Water filtration devices. All right, let's make some breakfast. We got some things out of our First Strike ration, some freeze-dried Bill's Brew coffee, some non-dairy powdered creamer, and some sugar. So I'll do that for coffee. Brown sugar, cinnamon toaster pastry, basically a Pop-Tart. And then in my battle box, I got mountain berry cobbler. So I need to heat up some water for the coffee and for the cobbler. That's good. All right, so we all know that water in a survival situation is probably one of the most important things other than getting out of the elements. And so in this video, you've seen me demonstrate multiple different ways using 3D printed items to filter water. But more importantly than that, what does the scripture say about water? So in John chapter 4, verse 13, he's talking to the Samaritan woman at the well. He said to her, "Everyone who drinks of this water will thirst again, but whoever drinks of the water that I will give him will never thirst, ever. But the water that I will give him will become in him a well of water springing up to eternal life." And then skipping forward to verse 23, "But an hour is coming, and now is, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For such people, the Father seeks to be his worshipers. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and truth." And then skipping forward to chapter 27, John 7:37, "Now on the last day, the great day of the feast, Jesus stood and cried out, saying, 'If anyone is thirsty, let him come to me and drink. He who believes in me, as the scripture said, from his innermost being will flow rivers of living water.'" So what does that mean? Like I said, we know how important water is in a survival situation. You can't go more than 3 days without water. And if you're in really hot climate with strenuous activity, maybe even less. But you can't go your next breath without having Christ as your Savior. Because if you die without Christ as your Savior, you go to hell. And Christ says that whoever drinks of him will never thirst again. Can you imagine a drink of water that would fulfill you so much that you'd never have to drink water again? Yeah, that's what Christ is saying. He is the way, the truth, and the life. No one goes to the Father except through him. And you need nothing else other than Christ and the gift of salvation that he's given to all of us. So far, this Helinox folding lightweight chair is holding up. I'm pretty impressed. I was really worried that something like this would not hold big guys like me, but so far, it's holding up great. We'll see how it does by the end of the summer. That'll be the ultimate test. Well guys, thanks for joining me on this adventure. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and this style of content. If you do, consider subscribing and liking the video, sharing it possibly. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, and of course, YouTube. So remember, go outside and do something difficult, because that's how you learn and it's how you grow. Push yourself off the couch, out of your comfort zone, go do something difficult. Go learn something new, go create something, design something, build something, experience something. Your active years are moving past you. And if you don't go out and take advantage of it, then one day, which I'm afraid of this for myself, that's why I've been doing this, is that I'm gonna look back and be like, I physically can't do whatever it is because I waited too long. So get out there and do something. Peace. Hey guys, I also forgot to mention, check out some of my previous videos. My first video, I printed essential camp items, literally in a snowstorm, in a tent in winter. And my second video, I went ice fishing. I made an ice fishing pole, 3D printed it, and caught some fish. Just my last video, 3D printed some snowshoes as a proof of concept to test them out, and then I tested some ultralight gear. So check out those videos. Thanks for watching.